A big question on the ballot for voters in Miami-Dade. The Miami-Dade school system is asking for a property tax hike to give teachers a raise.
Miami-Dade teachers are among the lowest paid in the state and the country. CBS 4's Jim DeFeeti spoke with the superintendent about what they're asking voters to do.
Mr. Carvalho, thank you very much for coming in.
I appreciate the opportunity, Jim.
All right, so let's talk about this. The idea is to raise the property tax, which would, on the average home, raise it by about $140 a year. To pay for what?
It's about $12 a month to honor the great work that teachers do with a compensation increase with minimum impact on a typical homeowner. As we said, $3 a week, $12 a month, but it would catapult our teachers from below national average teacher salary to above national average teacher salary.
So give me some specific, put some dollar figures
you know,
there.
right now the average teacher salary in Miami-Dade is around $50,000 a year. Teachers begin at $41,000. And much like across the nation, about 8% of teachers nationally leave the profession annually because they cannot afford to do what they live to do. Now that Broward passed their own referendum, the big concern, since 40% of our teaching workforce lives in South Broward, is with higher salaries in Broward, folks may actually bolt out of Miami-Dade into Broward. So to remain competitive, to level the playing field, we need to do this. Secondly, it's a recognition, quite frankly, of performance. This is the second year in a row where there are no F-rated schools in Miami-Dade, the first year ever, a historic feat, when Miami-Dade County Public Schools became an A-rated school system, graduation rate at an all-time high of 84.2%. And this is a way of saying thank you to teachers, recognizing the work they do, and quite frankly, compensate them adequately and allowing them to earn sufficiently, considering the cost of living in Miami-Dade, which is about 8% higher than the state average.
That's one of my questions is it enough to adequately compensate teachers, or do you still need to be looking for more money out of Tallahassee?
Well, two things. Number one, we will always need to look for more money out of Tallahassee. This, if passed, should not supplant in any way, shape, or form the necessary investment that Tallahassee should continue to make. The truth of the matter is, over the past 10 years, it has not happened. In fact, last year we got about a 0.5% increase, 50-cent per child increase for kids in South Florida, about the same for Broward as it was for Miami-Dade. And if we rely singularly on Tallahassee's investment, we will never be able to compete adequately with New York, with Chicago, even Broward or Palm Beach.
All right, let me ask you this. As I understand it, about 88% of the money raised will go to teacher salaries. The rest would go to school resource officers, police officers. And is there a guarantee that if this passes, there will be a police officer, a school police officer in every classroom?
That is
not every classroom, every school?
Every school. That is absolutely a guarantee. It is my promise. In fact, this school year, we began the school year with a police officer assigned to every single school. Here's the kicker. It is a one-year plan. It relied on partnerships with the county and the cities. They cannot sustain that level of investment. To arrive at a permanent solution, we need the local resources to kick in. So with these revenues, with about 12% of the funding from this referendum, there is absolutely a pathway to ensure that we have sufficient law enforcement personnel assigned to all schools.
Let me ask you this, because this gets to the heart of what a lot of people sometimes fear. They vote for one thing with the best of intentions, right, and then somehow administrators siphon the money off or take some of the money and use it for other things. How can the voters be guaranteed, if they want to raise teacher salaries, want to put police officers into the schools, how can they be guaranteed that that is what will happen? Are there any, other than your word, is there anything ironclad in this?
Absolutely. So 3 guarantees. Number one, the board approved my recommendation, which has now become policy of an oversight advisory committee made up of independent members of the community to ensure that the promise made is a promise kept, that the funds shall be invested exactly as promised, as written on the ballot. Secondly, a promise made is a promise kept. I have not reneged on any promise to this community. Thirdly, it is clear cut. You know, the language on the ballot, 88% for teachers, not administrators, not clerical staff, teachers and instructional personnel. That means classroom teachers, school psychologists, counselors, and paraprofessionals who work in the classroom. 88%. Why? Because we have about 20,000 of them. And then to maintain and hire about 400 law enforcement professional police officers to permanently designate to our schools.
This tax sunsets in 4 years, correct?
This investment sunsets in 4 years, and then we have an opportunity.
Right, well, that's my question.
Sure.
So you create this expectation where higher teacher salaries, officers in the schools. 4 years from now, are you going to have to roll back salaries?
I don't think so.
Pull police officers out?
No, I don't think so. Number one, we will continue to work with Tallahassee to ensure that once and for all, equity in funding is achieved. Secondly, out of the 13 or so districts across the state of Florida that have levied this type of taxation have been able to renew it. Once it becomes embedded as part of the taxation tapestry of a community, and there is an oversight committee that says the funds have been invested exactly in the way they were promised to be invested, the people trust, they see the value, and they want to support teachers.
Is this really the best way, though? Shouldn't the money be coming out of Tallahassee?
Jim, ideally, yes. Unfortunately, it is the only option we have. The per pupil investment in Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and the same is true for Broward as well, is still about the same as it was before the economic recession 10 years ago. The cost of living has increased, the cost of housing has gone through the roof, and teachers can no longer afford to live and to work in our community. If we are to retain, incentivize, recruit, maintain a stable workforce, we need to do more. Secondly, in the aftermath of Parkland, I know that we are almost about a year away from that awful event. For us to maintain the permanency of law enforcement protection in our schools, we need a full-time plan. That's exactly what that affords.
Let me just sort of touch on this real quickly. This is one of those items that's much further down on the ballot. Voters have to stay all the way through all the elected positions, the constitutional amendments, and this is what, number
362.
362.
And the way to remember is 3 goes into 6 2 times. 362.
So they got to go all the way through. Is that real briefly? Is that a concern for you?
You know, ballot fatigue is a concern, but you know what? I voted yesterday, and I believe that if people follow the ballot all the way to the end, depending where they're going to be voting, for me, it was at the tail end of the ballot, they will find it. It's after the constitutional amendments. Do not make a mistake. 362 for our kids, for our teachers, for safe schools.
Alberto Carvalho, thank you very much for your time.
Appreciate it, Jim.